Howdy everyone, Blastoise Squad here, ready to present my first review. Today I will be talking about the most popular Nintendo Switch game, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Before I start my review, I do have to give a spoiler warning, since I will be talking about gameplay mechanics and story. So if you don't want any spoilers, have a 5-word summary. Buy this game right now. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get started. Zelda Breath of the Wild starts out in a very simple way. It just starts with Link waking up from the Resurrection Shrine, getting his Sheikah slates, and heading out into the vast open world. It really feels epic as you can see all the landscapes that you will be encountering later on in the game. However, you can't go exploring to the whole world just yet. First, you need to get the paraglider to get off of the Great Plateau. Of course, the only person who has a paraglider is an old man that you meet. He tells you about the history of Hyrule, and tells you about Calamity Ganon and how he destroyed the civilization of Hyrule. The old man then proceeds to tell you that in order to get his paraglider, you must get the treasure found in the 4 shrines spread out across the Great Plateau. In these 4 shrines, you'll find the 4 main runes that you will use: the bombs, magnesis, cryonis, and stasis. The runes will help you do certain things. For example, bombs can be used to break unstable walls, or they can be used to fight enemies. After finishing a shrine, you get a spirit orb. This will help you increase either your health or your stamina, depending on what you choose. After finishing the 4 shrines and meeting again with the old man, he tells you about his secret identity. He was actually the old king from Hyrule. Of course, he died when he was trying to battle Calamity Ganon 100 years ago. He gives you his paraglider and allows you to go into the world. You're finally free to do whatever you want. There are so many good things that I have to say about the gameplay, so I guess I will start with the battle system. The battle system is kind of reminiscent to the one used in previous installments, however, it's more creative and more refined. There is the usual target locking, however, there's also new and creative ways to battle other monsters. For example, you can push a boulder to hit monsters, or you can use the runes, which I previously mentioned, to help you fight. This makes the game feel refreshing every time you play it, since you might find new, useful ways to battle monsters. One common complaint about this game is the breakable weapons, and while I do agree that the weapons do break very easily, I also have to say that this forces the player to find new ways to battle monsters. You can't just go and fight monster after monster after monster without any strategy at all. You must find stealthy ways and creative ways to battle. The breakable weapons also allow the player to attack with things other than a sword. You can use spears or double-handed swords to do more damage or to attack faster. A final note about the breakable weapons is that they teach the player to use their weapons responsibly and to not attack every single thing that they see. The other parts of the gameplay are enjoyable as well. For example, reaching a new location. To reach a location, you can do many different things. For example, paraglide from a high mountain, or ride a horse. There are also some creative ways on how to reach a location. For example, you can attach octoballoons to a boat and use that as a vehicle. This makes traveling in this game far more fun than in other games. The other parts of the gameplay also include cooking. I really did enjoy the cooking in this game. It was very fun to find out all the recipes that I could create with the items that I have. However, I do think that the game should have more recipes, but with what it has, it's enough. Overall, the gameplay is very good and is probably the best aspect of this game. It really makes you want to play it for hours and hours without stopping. The story of this game is probably one of its weakest aspects. I'm not saying it's bad, however, there are many things that can improve. One good thing about the story is how it is told. The story of this game is shown through either memories or dialogue. The memories were great, as they actually made you feel like you were learning along with Link about the world around you. All of the memories are voice acted. I really liked the voices, although there were some that could have some improvements, like Zelda. I played the game in both Spanish and English, and I can say that the translation was very good. Now, with the story itself. It starts with Calamity Ganon getting beaten 1,000 years ago. This was accomplished with the Divine Beast and the Guardians. The Guardians were autonomous machines created by the Sheikah tribe. The Divine Beasts were also created by the Sheikah tribe. However, these were piloted by 4 skilled warriors. With this technology, Zelda's sacred power, and Link's sword that seals the darkness, Hyrule defeated Calamity Ganon. After a long time, a prophecy said that Calamity Ganon would soon return. So the people of Hyrule decided to get the Divine Beast and the Guardians. Zelda got 4 new warriors who would pilot the Divine Beast. These were dubbed champions. After everyone in Hyrule was ready to fight Ganon, Ganon strikes with a plan that no one would have expected. Calamity Ganon took control of the Divine Beast and Guardians, and turned them back against the Hylians. Many people lost their lives, including the champions and the king. However, Zelda survived. She took Link to the Resurrection Shrine and went to Calamity Ganon. There, she is now containing Ganon inside of Hyrule Castle. As you can see, the story isn't necessarily bad, it's just weak compared to other games. However, there's something that ruins the story of this game, and that is the conclusion. After you beat Ganon, nothing happens to contribute to the story. You just beat him and you win. This really leaves a bad taste after the end, because it doesn't feel satisfying at all. At least the secret ending is a little bit more satisfying, but it's still not enough to fill the gaps. So overall, while the story isn't bad, it falls short, especially in its conclusion. But hey, at least the fight with Ganon is super hard, making it more satisfying, right? Well, you'll see later. The world of Hyrule is probably the best aspect of this game. It's full of interesting things, and you will always be wanting to explore more and more. There's people that say that the world feels empty. However, they're not paying attention, since there's 120 shrines, and there's also 900 Korok seeds to collect. So basically, the world of Hyrule has a lot to offer. There are also some mini-bosses around the world. For example, there's the Stone Talus or the Hinox. All of these bosses are fun to battle, and they each have different variations to make the fight even harder. My favorite mini-boss is probably the Stone Talus. It's super fun to battle, and it has an awesome theme. I also like the Lionels, however, I don't think they count as mini-bosses, but some may disagree. Besides the mini-bosses, there's also the normal bosses, which are found inside the Divine Beasts. The Divine Beasts of this game replace dungeons, and while some people don't like them, I personally find them a lot of fun. However, the bosses found inside these Divine Beasts are kind of easy. It's kind of weird how everything about this game is super hard, with the exception of the story bosses, like Calamity Ganon. And speaking of Calamity Ganon, yeah, he's very, very easy to defeat. It's very disappointing, since I expected a super hard fight. After all, this is one of the hardest games I have played. But instead we get a really easy fight. It left me a bad taste worse than the one that the Nintendo cartridge gave me. But besides those bosses, all of the other bosses are fine, and the world is really fun to explore. I think the characters of this game are pretty good. However, I do wish that they did have more development. I really like Robosa. She is really likable and has a great personality. I also like Rivali. He reminds me of Blue from Pokemon Red and Blue. All of the other characters are also pretty good, however, I don't think they're too important to be pointed out. That is, with the exception of Link and Zelda. While not stated specifically by the game, the Diary of Zelda gives us information about Link and Zelda. And I must say that the relationship that these two have is really great. I did wish that this was shown through cutscenes rather than text, however that would mean that Link would have to talk. And speaking of which, the Diary of Zelda explains why Link doesn't talk much. And I must say, it's something that gives Link a lot of personality. So yeah, overall the characters aren't too bad, but the best characters are obviously Link and Zelda. However, I do wish that the characters had more development. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is a game that many people have waited for, and I must say that the wait was worth it. All of the things that this game has to offer is very fun and enjoyable. There really aren't any other words that can explain this. Even some of the flaws that this game has are overshadowed by the many great things that this game has. I really haven't had this much fun in a game since a long time ago. The exploration of this game is really what makes it 100 times more enjoyable. This is a must-buy game for everyone who has a Wii U or a Nintendo Switch. Even if you aren't a fan of Zelda games, you might want to check this one out, because believe me, you'll have a really great time.